Joining us now is Texas Republican Congressman Randy Weber. Sir, welcome. Thanks for coming on National Report today. President Trump was asked about the judge's latest ruling. Here's what he had to say.
The birthright order, do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
So there you have it, Congressman. That's the latest. The Trump administration plans to appeal. What will you be watching for? Do you agree with this executive order?
Well, absolutely I do. Sean and Emma, by the way, thanks for having me on. We love that Newsmax helps get the word out. Pardon me. But yes, you know, birthright citizenship was never intended by the writers of the amendments, 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment back in the day, because they wanted people to come here legally and do it legally. When somebody breaks into our country illegally, they have already violated the law. Why should they be rewarded by making their babies American citizens? Well, I think President Trump is on the right path. I think you're going to see this fought out all the way to the Supreme Court. It needs to be.
Yeah, and it's well on its way. You have dozens of state attorneys general challenging this, calling it unconstitutional. In fact, many calling it unconstitutional, citing the 14th Amendment. What do you say to that, where it's very clearly written in the text of the 14th Amendment that if you're born in the U.S., you have every right to U.S. citizenship?
Well, you know, I said this in a press conference yesterday, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, that remind me what amendment came after the 13th Amendment? Oh, yeah, the 14th Amendment. And what the 14th Amendment was doing was making sure that all the African-American, the slaves, the recently, obviously, emancipation and freedom freed slaves got citizenship. That's what it was for. It was never intended to say, oh, anybody in any other country in the world, come on, we'll take you all in. America cannot afford to be the charity for the whole world, especially when you've got criminals, thugs coming across and you're seeing them rape and kill young women. What's wrong with the crazy left? Don't they believe that they ought to be looking out for Americans first?
You're right. Sir, we'll wait and see if perhaps that even moves on to the Supreme Court. So we'll watch these challenges as they come through. I wanted to ask you, though, more broadly about the border and enforcement. What we've seen so far, already hundreds of arrests of illegal criminal aliens. Your thoughts on the direction this Trump administration is headed when it comes to cracking down on illegal immigration?
Well, thanks, Emma. They are literally on track with doing the right thing. I served 4 years in the Texas House. I was vice chairman of the Borders Committee my second term. Bad then, 2009, 2012, the DPS director, Steve McCraw, told us that there was 5,000 Texans back then. Some of them raped, killed, maimed, murdered. Their homes were broken into. Buildings were set on fire. Cars were stolen. And that was 2009 to 2012. It's much, much, much worse now. And I'm glad to see ICE going in there in some of these states. The fact that, and I appreciate y'all putting on about Chicago, some of the city council people saying that they were going to fight the federal government on this. They don't have a right to come do this in Chicago. Well, Emma and Sean, think of it this way. If a person violates the tax code, if they have tax evasion, can the IRS and the U.S. government go after somebody that has lied into Chicago just because they're in Chicago? You know, it's in Chicago doesn't mean that the federal government doesn't have a right to be there, especially when they break a federal law. So I think Trump's on the right track.
All right, point taken. We appreciate that. Again, 538 arrests already made. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, on social media put out a photo and video of, again, deportations already beginning, being loaded on to military planes. Texas Congressman Randy Weber joining us from the Capitol. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.